All right, we'll call the meeting back to order. This is the regular board meeting. We'll call it to order. Mrs. Bass, would you take the roll, please?
Yes. District 1, Barbara McQuinn.
Here.
District 2, Chuck Shaw. District 3, Karen Brill.
Here.
District 4, Erica Whitfield.
Here.
District 5, Frank Barbieri.
Here.
District 6, Marcia Andrews.
Here.
District 7, Deborah Robinson.
Here.
All right, great. We have quorum. All the board members are back, and currently nobody's frozen, which is a good sign. The first item on the agenda will be the approval of the minutes from the prior board meeting. Do we have a motion? Motion by Mr. Shaw, seconded by Mrs. Whitfield. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Items pulled for good cause are BRD3, ELR2, and REG-G1. And I don't see a good cause state. Yes, I do. It just popped up. That's good. Good news. BRD3 is the revised IG search timeline. Good cause exists to add this item to adjust dates to currently scheduled meetings. ELR2, 2020 modifications to the collective bargaining agreement with the Palm Beach County Police Benevolent Association. This item has been added to the agenda to allow for timely ratification of payroll processing within the current fiscal year. And REG-G1, grant for virtual summer program in 5 Glade schools. Good cause exists to bring this item forward so that the summer virtual program may begin on time in the 5 Glade schools receiving grants. Mr. Superintendent, do you have anything else that you were adding other than those 3?
No, sir, nothing else to add.
We have withdrawals by the superintendent are FMPA1, FMPA2, and PIR3. The superintendent, is that the total sum of the ones you're withdrawing today?
Yes, sir, those are the 3.
The board items that have been pulled according to the information I have are BRD1, FC3, P2, and SW1. Any board members want to pull anything else? I don't see any, so we need a motion to approve the agenda as modified. Motion by Mrs. Whitfield, seconded by Ms. Brill. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Disclosures and abstentions. Any board members have any disclosures or abstentions? Excuse me. Before we get into the superintendent's and the board comments, I'd like to take an opportunity at this time to turn our attention to Jaden Manuel, our student representative, and recognize him for his insights and contributions to the board this year. Mr. Manuel, as the 2019-2020 president of the Palm Beach County Council of Student Councils, is the highest ranking student government leader in Palm Beach County. Before Jaden leaves our district to become a Knight at the University of Central Florida, we'd like to let everyone know a little more about him. Jaden graduates with over 500 hours of community service and a 4.18 HPA. On the Royal Palm Beach High School campus, Jaden has held impactful positions as Student Council Sophomore Class President and Student Body Historian. Jaden is the president of his high school's Rotary Interact Club, and throughout high school has been a member of the National Honor Society, Nu Alpha Theta, which is the United States National Mathematics Honor Society, Future Educators of America, HOSA, which is the Health Occupation Students of America, and the President's Circle, as well as participating in swimming, tennis, and volleyball. I reached out to Dr. Jesus Armas, the principal at Royal Palm Beach High School yesterday, who had this to say about Jaden. As the president of Palm Beach County Student Councils, Jaden has faithfully represented the students of Palm Beach County. As a student, he has excelled academically. As a member of our school community, he has helped further our vision of excellence. In his walk and in his talk, Jaden Manuel has, in every way, been a shining light and has made all of us at Royal Palm Beach High School very proud. There's no doubt that we will see and hear the name Jaden Manuel again in a prominent leadership position. And Jaden's Student Government Association advisor, Ms. Chelsea Riddle, went on to say, Jaden has been an exceptional student that is always attentive to detail and looking out for the interests and needs of his peers. At the Palm Beach County School District representative, he has truly been a voice for seniors through these times. I cannot express how proud I am of him and how much he will be missed. I know he will excel in all aspects of life, and that I will always be there to give a word of advice. We now have a short video that our Education Network put together for us. Andrew, if you would please put that on now.
Good afternoon, and thank you for the warm welcomes from everybody on the board. My name is Jaden Manuel, for those of you that do not know me, and I am super excited to have been given this opportunity to serve as this school year's student representative. Being on the school board has been an honor. It was a chance for me to give students a voice, especially at a time when we needed to be heard. Of course, I was a little bit worried about this virtual graduation. A lot of my friends were, a lot of my peers. But after hearing this and seeing the rundown, I'm actually quite surprised at how good it's going to look and feel. I think it's going to be something that will make us closer, if anything. We're going to be able to be remembered as the class that got through it. Even if it's hard, even if it was tough, we still managed to stay with it. We still managed to graduate. It's really surprising to me that it's going to be so unique to each school. We're going to hear our president talk. We hear the valedictorian, all that stuff. It makes me feel a lot better. It makes me feel a lot better about the situation as a senior. We are the class of 2020, the class that got through it and the best to ever do it.
On my screen.
Mr. Barbieri, we can hear you, but your screen is frozen.
Okay, I'm going to show something. Yesterday, I visited Jaden at his home and presented him with a small award to recognize his service to the board and the students of Palm Beach County. Jaden, would you like to hold up the award so that all of us can see it? Jade, on behalf of the board and Superintendent Fenoy, it's been an honor having you to work with us this year, and we wish you the best as you move forward to the next chapter in your life. If any board members would like to make any comments, you may as well go ahead and do that now. Anybody?
Yeah.
Ms. Brill?
Thank you. Jaden, I just have to tell you that you don't realize what a change and a difference you made. We started last year with our representative from Park Vista, but our policies have changed. Having you there, we've included you in our presentations. You've given voice, you've brought us great suggestions, and I just want to wish you all the best in your future, and we look forward to hearing what you do in the years ahead.
Mrs. Whitfield and Mrs. McQuinn?
Thank you. I just wanted to say I feel like Jaden, you brought in a whole, you brought in a whole new way of being a president on the board, and I think it's going to reverberate for a long time after you. So I just want to say thank you, and I hope you'll come back and visit us again.
Ms. McQuinn?
Yes, Jaden, everything that I was going to say about you has been said, but I am your patience during the meetings. So yeah, I can look over and see you. You are so very patient, and you bring us the wishes from your constituents. You don't ever bring us just Jaden. And your calm demeanor. I loved how you told us in the beginning, I was really not for this virtual graduation. It certainly would not be my choice. But you took the courage to say out there to all of Palm Beach County, I understand why we have to do it. So you have all the qualities of being great at whatever you decide to do. Thank you.
Mrs. Andrews?
Thank you. And Jaden, I'm so proud of you, so happy for you on your graduation. I've gotten a chance to get to know you personally as I saw you walk the halls of Royal Palm Beach High School, serving in leadership capacities there with all the students who truly love you. I said, do you know Jaden, Manuel, they all love you, and says, yes, he's a superstar at our school. But right on the school board, you've been a superstar. And it's been a great year, and I wish you all the best in your future.
Mr. Shaw?
Thank you. Jaden, congratulations. I was hoping that this would be the time that we could say, and what is the date and time of your graduation, but we won't put you on the spot for this one. I just want to share with you that a leader has been the kind of person that the board listens to, and that you have had an impact. And you've had an impact on many of the decisions that we've made. So I wish you the very best. I know a lot of students who've been to UCF, and I think that experience will be wonderful. So congratulations.
Ms. Brill.
So Jaden, I didn't realize you're going to UCF, so I just want to let you know something. My daughter was vice president at UCF. You get paid for student government at UCF. So yes, as soon as you get there, get involved, because it's a paid position and it opened unbelievable doors for her in the future. So we'll be watching for you.
All right, thanks everyone. So Jaden, we'll hear from you again in a little while, but again, congratulations from all of us. At this time, Mr. Superintendent, do you have any comments you'd like to make?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As this is the final school board meeting of the 2019-2020 school year, I'd like to take a few moments to extend my gratitude to our students, our staff, our parents, and the community. And most importantly, our dedicated school board members. Life as we knew it changed on March 13th as the COVID-19 pandemic forced us to close our schools in order to keep our community safe. On March 31st, we launched distance learning. The planning and execution of this plan was truly remarkable. Our teachers and students pivoted with remarkable dexterity and efficiency, and frankly, just tried their best to make it work. It is certainly not perfect. It wasn't a perfect plan. Nothing will ever replace in-person instruction. But we've learned a lot along the way during this constantly evolving process. Moving forward, we are better prepared to provide digital instruction when necessary, whether it be as a continuation of our current reality or another event in our future that may disrupt conventional teaching and learning. We've been navigating uncharted waters for more than 8 weeks. While our district and the nation struggles to return to normal, we are prepared to face any and all challenges ahead because this is who we are and this is what we do. To the class of 2020, I speak for the entire district when I say we feel your collective disappointment. You missed out on all the rituals and traditions that many of us took for granted. But I also believe that the current state may very well end up being a catalyst for accomplishing great things, a springboard to your future success. Though I will miss the opportunity to shake the hands of all of our graduates, I look forward to celebrating with you virtually while watching your graduations online or on TV. And I'd also like to thank our student school board representative, Jaden Manuel, as well. Once again, in addition to what you have already heard, Jaden recently organized a video conference discussion between his student government peers and myself. These students changed my life, and it was profound, and it reminds me of how bright our future is. Jaden, one of the lasting impressions of your tenure on our board is that now I'm going to commit this summer to having all the student government presidents meet with me on a regular basis. I learned more during that meeting that you set up and organized for me about the needs of our students, and I recognize that I have to hear that voice on a continuous basis, especially during the times that we're facing. This coming Monday is Memorial Day, and as we reflect and honor this nation's military heroes, I want to give a shout out to my father and mother. Let's take a moment to remember our current heroes who remain on the front lines of this pandemic, as well as all of the families who are struggling right now with the losses of their own. While you've heard the expressions before, we are all in this together. Those are just not words, ladies and gentlemen. They're a reminder that while we may be isolated, we are not alone. And I'm truly honored to be part of such a giving and caring community. Mr. Barbieri, those are my comments at this time.
Thank you, Dr. Fennoy. Jaden, you just heard the superintendent from the 10th largest school district in the United States say you made an impact, so congratulations. Board members, if you have comments, we'll start with Ms. McQuinn.
Thank you, and I will be short tonight because I get to leave out the entire Jaden Manuel. So again, thank you, recognizing everything you have you've taught us also. My comments tonight are specifically about our graduating seniors, the class of 2020. I watched a short video a few days ago that included comments from some of our seniors One spoke to the resilience of this class, having been born in the aftermath of 9/11. Another described the class of 2020 as heroes. During their high school years, they dealt with the devastating effects of the Parkland shootings and now a pandemic. They're pretty much unmatched, I think, in the years that most of us can remember. And they have had to learn far too early in their lives that life is not always fair. It's not fair that they had to give up this very important last quarter of, for them, a lot of studying, but also a lot of fun. They have expressed their disappointment, more to the point, their sadness at missing out on these traditional end-of-year activities. Most of them I found most telling that they missed the fact that they didn't know they weren't going to see their classmates again. We know that that is going to happen for them, and I know they're all going to be probably a year one class reunion. But in the face of all this, I'm most impressed by how many of them have expressed their appreciation for things they previously took for granted. And I think this appreciation is going to follow them for the rest of their lives. So I agree with the comments that I heard. The class of 2020, resilient, heroic. I couldn't agree more. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McQuinn. I'm going in the order of the, not the order of the dais, I'm going in the order of the district. So Mr. Shaw, District 2, go next.
Thank you very much. Within the last couple of weeks, we recognized our teachers for the great job that they've been doing during this difficult time. Tonight, though, I want to focus on the ones that we don't hear a lot about, but who've done an amazing job of working through this, and that's our school principals. And what they have, the efforts that have been made on their campuses to get ready for distance learning, for them to work with trying to coordinate all of the activities that are surrounding our graduations and everything is something that's really special. But also this week, I've heard from several people around the district about how well it's gone, where teachers have been going back to their schools to pack for the summer and get out of there, and how well that's gone. The cooperation, the efforts that principals have been making on this. I want to congratulate and thank the principals for doing an amazing job, way above and beyond, and I know they're putting a lot of long hours. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Brewer, you're next. Go ahead.
Did you say me? I didn't hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So I want to start off by thanking everyone for their patience as we work through what school will look like in August. We understand that the uncertainty is extremely difficult for our families and communities. We also know that distance learning and virtual instruction increases the gaps in equity. It also creates huge challenges for our students with disabilities and meeting the requirements and goals of their IEPs. In the coming weeks, I know we will be discussing the precarious balance between CDC and state guidelines, teaching and learning, and our students' social and emotional needs. We also must address the safety needs of our thousands of employees. So please, everyone, continue to be patient. Tonight, there will be a video presentation of the Palm Beach Post Pathfinder winners. I want to personally congratulate all of the nominees, the finalists, and the winners. All of you are truly exceptional, and I look forward to hearing the wonderful things you accomplish in the future. You are our shining stars. And lastly, as mentioned before, it's graduation time. And yes, as we have said before, we know this is not what you envisioned for your graduations. As we live through this historic pandemic, you are a part of history. This is a huge milestone in your lives, and I hope you know that we all applaud and celebrate you. You represent the future, and so I look forward to hearing about your achievements as you move on to higher education and our workforce. Go out, graduates, and do great things. I know you will. Thank you.
Mrs. Whitfield.
Thank you so much. I wanted to take a minute and to recognize the people in our community who are working towards helping the issues surrounding hunger. One of the committees that I have the pleasure of serving on, I'm the childhood hunger chair for the last 4 or 5 years for the United Way's hunger plan. And so I get an opportunity to see how the community is responding to this crisis that we're in. And I've mentioned many times how amazing our school food service department is, and the work that they're doing is just unbelievable and wonderful. But I wanted to mention some of the other organizations in the community that I have heard about who have been doing good work. And this is not an exhaustive list by any means. I'll be missing some people. But we're working with Philippine, Feeding South Florida, the Boys and Girls Clubs, Palm Beach County Youth Services, and all of these organizations have come together to create additional places where people and their families can go and get food throughout the community. So we at the school district feed all the way to 18 or to 22 if you're an ESC student, but these other organizations have come together to make sure that there's food available for families outside of that. So if you are listening and you know people who need to find a place to find food, we are now figuring out where all the places are going to be during the summer. So you can either call 211, which is a great resource to be able to use, or you can text FL Kids Meals, FLKIDSMEALS, to 211-211. And that'll show where you can get food over the summer. And then summerbreakspot.freshfromflorida.com. So that's another opportunity for that. And then all these organizations have been coming together to find food. And I want to put a big shout out to our farmers who have actually been providing produce in boxes. Specifically, the Basor family has been doing that. And it's just an amazing thing that they've done to come together. Finally, I wanted to say a quick word to the graduates. I think it is a terrible thing to graduate during this time and missing out on all the fun things that you deserve. But I think one thing I've noticed during this time is that the adults really don't have everything figured out. We don't know what we're doing. We're trying our very best, and we really need you. So I know that with your talents, you're going to go forward and you're going to help us, and we need you more than ever. So I want to wish all the graduates of 2020 just absolutely the best in their life going forward. And I do hope that they will go on and do wonderful things. And then, as I always say, come home, come back to us. We would love to have you here, and we would love to keep you in our community, because I think that's what we've been trying to do, is grow children that'll help make this place the best place to be in the world. Thank you so much.
Mrs. Andrews? Mrs. Andrews, you're frozen. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Can you see me?
You're not moving, but we see you.
Oh my goodness. Well, congratulations to our seniors. So happy, so proud of you. You did it. The class of 2020. You're moving forward to great things. You had some real obstacles this year, but you've overcome those. You are the leaders of our school district, graduating as the senior class of 2020. I want to also congratulate all of our students who are getting promoted and moving from one grade to the other. You've had to go through many changes this year with distance learning, and you made it. Congratulations to you. And just a few nights ago, I saw all of the Dwyer awardees, the nominations, the winners. I was so proud of you. I saw a session where we had our Teacher of the Year, our Palm Beach County Teacher of the Year, and our Employee Non-Instructional Person of the Year. I was screaming and so excited to see you all get selected and to see you get so many accolades and so many comments on the Google Meets. It was just wonderful, congratulating you all again. So really, as I look forward to seeing the Pathfinders tonight and see all the nominees and the winners, you're awesome. This year of 2020 has made some great leaders, and you are to be commended. I want to say to the Palm Beach County team, thank you. It took everybody to move us forward during this pandemic, and you led the way as we move forward to educate our children. It's all about them, the children. Our teachers, you have been on the front line every day working from your homes to make sure that the students could be successful. Thank you. And as we move forward, everyone's voice needs to be heard. Teachers, you should lead the way. I want to thank our Classroom Teachers Association. You've been a big partner as we move forward through this distance learning process. You've been a good communicator and you've been a partner. We have been successful for this first step of distance learning, and it is all because of you. And I want to say now, as we look at distance learning, blended models, or our new normal, it's going to take all of us to work together and collaborate together for the success of our children. But as I leave you, class of 2020, you're awesome. Jaden, you're our hero. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Andrews. Dr. Robinson?
Yes, thank you. So I didn't speak last month, so I have a little bit longer today. So first, I also want to congratulate Jaden and the rest of the class of 2020. Somehow now it seems appropriate to say that which doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Okay, so we are very proud of you, and we look forward to you making this world a better place, not just for your tribe, but for every tribe. Next month, on June 15th through 17th, the 26th annual African and African American Summer Institute will be held. For the first time, it will be held virtually. Dr. James Banks, who's known as the father of multicultural education and the author of the often quoted Levels of Infusion, will be the keynote speaker. Also, the focus will change from infusion of contributions to social action, meaning the transformation of the educational delivery model to respectfully include students of the African diaspora. It is time that we make the changes needed for our students. Accordingly, for the time being, I'm going to change my board comments from Black History facts to comments on the transformation of the educational delivery model to meet the needs of all children. I think the time is now for this conversation, and I've heard some of these kind of comments earlier in today's meetings. So the disruptions caused by the coronavirus pandemic actually presents an opportunity for us to get it right. The mountain is steep as far as the traditional academic measures go. We have the multi-generational educational debt that manifests in the achievement gap. And this is compounded by the COVID-19 slide and soon to be compounded by the summer slide. We must act collectively now. When we are on the other side of this pandemic, we know that we will have lots of catching up to do. In my mind, this period from March 13th until now has been a trial run. We need to look at the lessons learned by us and others, as well as remember the areas that needed to be improved upon before the coronavirus pushed its way into our reality. The following comments are inspired by the Education Trust, the Digital Promise, and other organizations, as well as Dr. Ann Ishimaru, author of Just Schools. The kinds of things that we need to consider and address include: 1, school has an important role as one of the places to practice pro-social behaviors. We must make sure that our social, emotional, behavioral support staff continue to check in with students to keep them on track, and we must be prepared to redirect even more students whenever school reopens. 2, we know that distance learning will ebb and flow as part of our educational lives. Therefore, we must work in earnest to address all of the obstacles that exist. Now, in the interest of time, I won't list the ones that I had listed in my little speech. We've talked about a few of them in today's meetings already, but we must be honest and set high goals and expectations and set the expectation that we will get each and every student online and work together with our community partners to make that happen. Then lastly, I'll say, as we plan for one-day reopening schools, let us consider various instructional structures and multiple scheduling options to meet the needs of students and families. For example, School A might have students watch Khan Academy or their teacher's recorded lesson and then do homework. The Google Meet classroom would then be to reteach and to clarify, whereas School B might continue with the usual, where the teacher first introduces the lesson, even if it's via Google Classroom, and then assigns homework. Then School C might offer morning and afternoon sessions while D alternates days. The point of this is to say, we can't just do what's convenient for us. we must make sure that we are meeting the needs of families. And so we must also work with our community partners to provide out-of-school options for students so that they are not left unsupervised as we restructure school to be a healthy place in this post-pandemic environment. I plan to continue to share, of course, publicly and privately, thoughts on how we could get it right. It's not that I have all the answers, but I am going to push our thinking because now is the time to fix this system that has been broken for so many students. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Robinson. I guess one of the disadvantages of going last is you all said everything I wanted to say, but one of the advantages is I don't have to say it. So I just take this opportunity to thank all of the administrators, our teachers, and all the staff who helped our children district challenges of district distance learning. And also, I want to congratulate again Jaden and all the 2020 graduates. I know you'll make us proud. You've been through probably the most turmoil that any graduating class has ever been through, and you made it through well. And I know that you'll carry on and you'll be very successful after all the challenges you faced and still made it through. So again, congratulations to all of you. The chairman's report is attached. It just lists all the different meetings I've gone to. So I won't bother going into any of that at this point. I would like to recognize one of the friends of our school district who was with us a long time. He was the chairman for many, many years of the audit committee, Mr. Greg Daniels. I don't know if all of you knew him, but Mr. Daniels passed away within the last couple of weeks. He is a real loss to all of us. He was a great audit committee member, chairman of that committee, and it did so much to help us get through all of the difficult issues we had that faced the audit committee. And I understand, Ms. Whitfield, you have also a teacher that has passed away that you'd like to mention.
Thank you so much. Yes, I feel like it's such a shame the way we do our in memoriam. When a teacher leaves us because they're sick and not doing well, they don't get included in that. So I wanted to take a quick minute to recognize Lori Mecca. She was a teacher at North Grade Elementary most recently. Before that, she was at Pine Jog Elementary, and I worked with her in the gardens, and I just found her to be the most inspirational teacher. She inspired even my own daughter to learn math and science, and I just felt like she needed to be recognized by us. So thank you very much for letting me be able to recognize her. She passed this past February after a very long battle of pancreatic cancer. So thank you so much.
All right, we can just take a moment to remember both of those people that we're going to miss, and our condolences to their family. Take a moment of silence. Thank you all. Mr. Manuel, you're up for your last president's report, so go for it, young man.
Thank you, everyone, for all of the kind words. Of course, after all of your kind words, I don't have anything prepared for today specifically. I'm just going to use my time to say thank you. It's been such an amazing experience being on this board. I've definitely learned some leadership techniques and skills that I will definitely carry on with me for forever. Yes, this has been a very difficult time for the class of 2020, but I do believe that we have faced it with courage and bravery, and we have gotten through it because we've met our last day already. We're heading to graduation now, whether it be virtually or not. So yeah, we're super excited to move on. Hopefully things go back to normal sooner than later, or we meet a new normal, whatever it may be. But I really just want to say thank you. Thank you to all of you on the board. Thank you for this award trophy. It's very cool. I really like it. And thank you to my principal, Dr. Jesus Armis, and thank you to Ms. Riddle, my advisor, and thank you. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jaden. We're going to miss you. Yep. Microphone wasn't on. Okay, sorry about that. So the next item on our agenda is the audit committee report. I don't believe there's anybody that recorded anything from audit. Mr. Doctor did, or the audit committee did that, and same with construction oversight review. Those two committee reports are attached to the agenda. The next item will be our elected officials and delegates, and we have three. President Gavrilos from the Education Foundation, President Charmaine Postel from the Palm Beach County PTA, and President Justin Katz from Palm Beach County CTA. So I forget who's playing those, but I know somebody's standing by from IT that's going to play those three. So would you do that in that order, Mr. Gavrilos, Ms. Postel, and Mr. Katz?
Good afternoon. This is James Gavrilos, Delegate Speaker representing the Education Foundation of Palm Beach County, your Education Foundation. Dr. Fenoy, Chairman Barbieri, and members of the school board, let me first again thank all of you, Dr. Fenoy, you and your command staff, and certainly all of the elected members of the school board for your exemplary leadership during this very, very challenging time. As a resident of Palm Beach County, in addition to being the CEO of the Education Foundation, I have been so proud to see you out front and center, really keeping the community well informed as to education and the steps the district has taken. Since the shift to distance learning almost 2 months ago, the Education Foundation has supported the district's efforts to acquire enough Chromebooks so that our students can continue their learning while they are at home. I have reported on the success of phase 1, what we called our device drive, last month. In these last 4 weeks, however, we have launched phase 2, or what we're calling our Kits for Kids program. We are going to schools that are doubling as school district feeding sites, and while there, we distribute our Kits for Kids. In these kits are pencils, pens, paper, folders, notebooks, all of the items that the young people will need to continue their learning at home. Since launching this program 4 weeks ago, we have had 8 distributions. We've been to Highland Elementary, Benoist Farms, Village Academy, Northmore, Roosevelt, Belglade Elementary, Pahokee Elementary, and Rosenwald Elementary. I'm proud to say that in those 8 schools, we have distributed $58,942.80 worth of school supplies. We have passed out 2,997 of these Kits for Kids at those 8 schools. As is the practice at Red Apple Supply, all of these schools are Title I schools with at least 90% of the children receiving a free or reduced lunch. We have already scheduled 4 more additional Kits for Kids distributions. On June 4th, we will be both at Lake Park Elementary and Forest Park Elementary, and then on June 11th, we'll be at Green Acres Elementary. We anticipate distributing yet another 2,000 kits at these schools, bringing our grand total to 5,097 Kits for Kids distributed, with a total value of $104,050.80. That is our Kits for Kids program, as I said, phase 2 of our outreach during this challenging time. I am pleased to report that the Frederick A. DeLuca Foundation, about whom you will be hearing much more in coming months, has awarded the Ed Foundation an additional grant of $10,000 to support Kits for Kids, specifically for the acquisition of hygiene kits and educational games, which will be included in the June 4th and June 11th distributions at Lake Park, Forest, and Green Acres. In addition, thanks to our generous funders from United Healthcare, the Jim Moran Foundation, and the Boca West Community Foundation, we will be able to add age-appropriate books to this next distribution. As we move into the summer months, we are exploring the possibility of funding various reading programs to transform the summer slide into a summer climb. And of course, we're still waiting on the final word from the governor regarding our CFEF matching grant. In the interim, we are, however, opening up applications for our Go Teach grants to be awarded in the next academic year. Program Director Jennifer Etheridge and I will be conducting Zoom webinars on grant writing to assist our teachers who may be writing a grant for the very first time. So in spite of the shutdown, there's lots happening at the Education Foundation. Again, we're waiting on the final budget. Being a nonprofit director for so long, until we deposit the check and it clears the bank, I don't count anything, but it looks like we're going to receive full funding for next year's matching grant program. Ladies and gentlemen, we are your Education Foundation, serving the needs of the schools, teachers, and students, and the finest school district in the state of Florida.
Good evening, Board Chair, Superintendent Dr. Fenoy, board members, and everyone in your respective places. Charmaine Postel, Palm Beach County Council, Parent, Teacher, and Student Association. I trust that this recording finds you all well and in good health. These last few months have been as busy, if not busier, than pre-COVID. Advocacy never stopped at Palm Beach County Council, as it apparently has now stopped with some of you at the district. Dr. Robinson, we have to recognize you and the work you are doing with the REI Alumni Group with respect to the coronavirus slide, quote, unquote. Ms. Carlene Millen, we also recognize you and the work you are doing with the ongoing work group. Education Foundation, Mr. James Gavrielos, and your team, congrats to all that you have raised and continue to do for our children. I'm sure many of you are also doing work behind the scenes, so thank you. On April 21st, the council launched a survey on transition to distance learning to nearly 350 parents to gauge where our school district stands. The results, 173 responses, which includes 48% PTA members, 52% non-PTA members, 49.1% from the South region, 26.6% from the Central region, 22% from the North region, and 2.3% from the Glades region. The full responses were sent to district leaders and all board members. If they were buried in your emails, I'll be glad to resend them. Thank you for the feedback, Ms. Whitfield and Ms. Brill. As I prepare to close, I would like to share that today is my final school board meeting as the Palm Beach County Council PTA-PCSA president. Don't start rejoicing just yet. On May 7th, our county council hosted our third general meeting and best practices training, virtually, of course. At the meeting, my successor, a familiar voice to this district, an academic advisory committee, Laura Feldman, was elected as the president. Laura will take on the position beginning June 1st, 2020. And as she fills her own shoes, I will be here to support any way I can. The last 2 years has been an amazing experience working with many of you. Brainstorming, agreeing to disagree, seeing change, and as someone on the Diaz likes to put it, moving one brick at a time. I came into this position with a few goals in mind: rebranding the council, ensuring our members, district leaders, and anyone who would listen understood the history, advocacy, and the importance of an organization that has been around for 120 years. This position came with a lot of resistance, complaining, sleepless nights, and self-identified missions, and zero pay. And awkwardly, I enjoyed every moment and would do it all over again. But of course, with a lot more staff and understanding. I have sat on many advisory boards, attended many meetings, but my favorite, being a voice for the voiceless and standing in the gap for those that may not know how or just cannot. As I move on to the next chapter, I am not sure what it is, but I can assure you it includes advocating, being a voice, stretching, and calling on each of you more. Oftentimes, leaders do a final project as they depart from their role, whether volunteering at a food bank, participating in a book drive, or another opportunity. My final assignment is for who I have dedicated my secret nights to, hours on end phone calls, and pay, seeing each child's potential become a reality, the students of this district. Today, I will launch a campaign to hear from our students. We don't know what the near future holds in education, but with their voices, we can certainly be prepared for the fall and their future in this district because hashtag Palm Beach Cares. As previously stated, my last day in the role will be March 31st. So if you would like to reach out to me, you can reach out directly at 561-400-3127. Let's continue to make every child's potential a reality. Be well. Again, Charmaine.
Good evening. My name is Justin Katz, and I am the president of the Palm Beach County Classroom Teachers Association. As the final weeks of the school year wind down, I wanted to again thank everyone from the superintendent and school board to every rank and file employee in and outside of our classrooms who have continued to provide excellent services to our students in these unprecedented and difficult times. I want to turn my attention to this summer and the planning that will precipitate whatever form of education we are able to provide come August of the upcoming school year. It is my understanding that the school board intends to hold weekly workshops throughout the summer to not only provide transparency and a consistent flow of information to the public, but also to allow for input from educators and community stakeholders. I believe this is critical and the prudent thing to do, given the gravity of the potential changes to our start of year protocols. As president of the Teachers Union, I believe there are a few things that must take place in order to ensure the most effective and efficient upcoming academic year. Firstly, all changes to existing working conditions must be negotiated for the 2020-2021 school year, formally memorialized and conveyed directly to employees so that they are 100% aware of district expectations and capable of best performing their job duties. Second, Teachers must be provided an opportunity to give input and feedback to the school district of Palm Beach County regarding many of the potential changes that may arise for the next school year. School board workshops and meetings will allow them the chance to call in and record public comments, but CTA is also requesting that surveys go out to solicit educator input and capture as many concerns and ideas as possible. The school district of Palm Beach County has an amazing administrative team, but everyone has to approach uncharted waters like these with humility and understand that no one person or one group possesses the ability to predict and implement best practices under never before performed circumstances in a vacuum. You literally have over 12,000 educators ready and willing to share their experiences, insight, and recommendations based on the initial 2-month distance learning science experiment that we are about to conclude. Lastly, but most importantly, safety must be at the core of every decision that is made by the school district of Palm Beach County moving forward. Contrary to what some may say or think, the virus is real. It is not like a typical flu virus or other common viruses that society encounters on an annual basis. It is deadly in varying degrees to all demographics it crosses, and it will continue to disrupt functions throughout all corners of society for the foreseeable future. It is beyond absurd to me that there are leaders across the state and our nation that have publicly stated that since children initially appeared to be less susceptible to the deadly effects of the virus, that schools should rush to reopen. That is a position that brazenly disregards the fact that there are literally millions of adults who work in our crowded schools throughout the country that would needlessly risk their lives and the lives of their families should schools rush and make imprudent decisions. Decisions need to be made rationally and based on the best available scientific and medical experts' recommendations, not random personal opinions or populist political pressures. It is inevitable that whatever decisions are made, there will be parties that refuse to accept the science and medical consensus. With respect to these individuals who choose to ignore science and medicine, every one of you needs to stand prepared to do what is right, not what is popular or feels good, if the consequence of your decisions literally could be life or death. As president of CTA, I and my membership look forward to working with the school district of Palm Beach County over the summer months to guarantee that whatever incarnation of public education is feasible at the start of next school year, it is the highest caliber we can deliver for our students and our communities. Thank you all again for your time, and thank you all for your leadership as well.
Thank you, and thank you to Kevon Ramazar and the entire IT telecommunications staff. We practiced on Monday to make sure that these call-ins would work, and they do. So thank you very much. I know you guys worked very hard to make sure that the board could hear those rather than have poor Carol have to read every one of them. Also, Mr. Superintendent, follow up to Mr. Katz's comments. I know you have work groups that are working on all different kinds of issues that deal with the restart of the school in next year. Are you having getting teacher input on these? Are the teachers at the table so that they can make sure that their voices are heard?
Yeah, so we are currently finalizing sort of the master work group that's focused on reentering school. And so many subcommittees will come out of that, and absolutely teachers, and we will have some parent voices on some of those committees moving forward. We're just trying to get all the structures created now. Mr. Katz and all of our union heads are actually people that we will be in touch with about creating these ongoing work groups. Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, Mr. Superintendent. We have no agenda speakers, so at this point, unless the board members want to pull anything else from consent, we need a motion to approve the consent agenda.